8 years in prison. CZ speaks on his 4 months in prison and $4 billion fine. And the Anthropic former chief security officer resigns with a chilling message to the world about the world in peril. What's up, everybody? My name is Erai Beckmann. I'm one of the founding partners here at Peace Through Trade Blockchain. We are a global Web3 complete ecosystem with a layer 1, an exchange, our own layer 1 stablecoins, mobile app, and AI, all of which we have right now up and running, fully sustainably powered completely by solar. So we're excited to launch our app this year, potentially have our ICO later on in the year, and bring this whole ecosystem out. Our goal is to uplift the quality of life for all humanity and help the planet thrive at the same time. And if you want to learn more, check out pttblockchain.online, where you can get our white papers, check out the layer 2 global access marketplace coming, and join the community. We're calling everyone peacemakers. So check it out. This is what we got going on. I'm going to share my screen with you here, and I will show you the first point I talked about, which is SafeMoon founder sentenced to, this article I pulled up here on cryptobriefing.com says 100 months in prison for crypto fraud. I actually went out and I found the official on justice.gov article that they published here, where they describe the sentencing. CEO of digital asset company SafeMoon sentenced to 100 months in prison for multi-million-dollar crypto fraud scheme. So this is the maturing of our industry. Now, this took place a minute ago. I first actually heard about this story when the CEO of Barstool Sports was having a trending clip on social where he mentioned that he lost, I guess, some money in this project. I then went ahead and saw CoffeeZilla's expose investigative report. That guy does great work over there, where he covered it in detail. And I learned about kind of, trying to piece it all together. CoffeeZilla did a really good job because I hadn't actually ever heard of the project before. And with CoffeeZilla, I was able to see the whole thing kind of from inception, even some clips that he'd taken. And I learned about the fact it really just looked like a pumped up project. And what actually came from it, who knew? And this is a weird situation because a lot of the crypto industry to date has been pump up something, the treasury sells those coins or tokens, and then tries to take that capital in general, looking back, and then make the thing that they said that they were going to do in the first place. And this was really the vast majority, with very few exceptions, the entirety of the industry over time. Maybe over the last year-ish that slowed down a little bit, but in general, it's really been the industry to date. So, pardon me here, I'm not sure how that's happening. I'm just tuning in with the team here to see how this stream is going so far. Oh, I think I might. Just one sec. Okay, I'm going to probably have to do this. Okay. So, okay, I think we're good. So, I'm going to keep going here. Great news, great news. So, this is really interesting. Like, is this a sign of more to come? What other projects out there in the industry have launched their tokens or their coins, taken down large amounts of monies, and will be prosecuted? That's a great question. Now, if you're new here and this is the first time watching this stream, here at Peace Through Trade, we are really blessed. This project is based in and with a team of academics, scientists, and researchers in a group of universities in Southeast Asia. Okay, so we took the opposite approach with Peace Through Trade. Fortunately, my wife and I and our private family office have funded this project over the last 5 years for the vast majority of capital. We wanted to go out and we wanted to do something the right way for the long term. So we built the layer 1, our wallet, our exchange, and the projects, independent layer one stablecoins, according to the legal regulated laws of the Central Bank of Singapore, which is MAS. We wanted to make sure it was all working. We wanted to make sure everything was doing well before we even brought it out and shared it with the market and gave them a chance to buy the Piece of Trade coin pre-ICO the first time. So we actually did that last year. So we knew that regulations were coming. And having lived through this in a few industries previously to Web3, blockchain, and AI myself, I know that what will happen is whoever sprints to market, gets as much market cap, takes down as much money as possible, they're hoping that they can turn around, fight the fines, fight the legal lawsuits, build what they're doing, and kind of make it all fit for legal regulatory compliance as they go. I didn't want to do that. We have seen that happen too many times before. And also, my wife and I already lived through an entire industry, the CBD and cannabis industry, where the groups that pursued that previous path, take down as much money as possible, try and figure it out and hope to survive, they ended up ultimately being replaced by groups we'd never even heard of, that because they took the right legal regulated path, were able to raise the most capital and go out and dominate. So that's the position and approach we took with Piece of Trade. So similarly now, groups like Piece Through Trade, maybe groups you've never even heard of, like Piece Through Trade, are now going to be in a position to step forward as global dominant leaders. And I know for a certainty there's going to be a huge shakeup in terms of the top currently thought of leaders in the world. You know, we don't know who's going to survive over the next 3 years. Absolutely, some of them won't be here. And there absolutely will be new leaders in place that we hadn't even heard of prior to. So this brings up the second point here that I was going to share with you guys. I've got this interview pulled up from the All In podcast showing CZ here. It's so interesting because this guy was put in prison. It says prison, but I think it was house arrest. I don't actually think it was prison. We can watch the whole podcast and understand everything he's describing. He describes a $4 billion fine and what he's got coming up next. I know he has another project all ready to market. And I believe it's my understanding he had to step down in full capacity from any involvement he had and roll with Binance. So this is an hour and 27-minute podcast, though, so I'll let you guys listen to the whole thing for yourself. Check out the All In podcast. Shout out there. But this is another example of how they were one of the first to market. They're arguably the largest exchange in the world right now, Binance. And because the laws didn't even exist this entire time that they were building their globally dominant market share, now, as soon as laws come online or regulatory agencies start looking at things, turns out he had done some things that were illegal. And the question that you need to be asking yourself if you're following blockchain and if you care about those markets now and in the future is, who else is guilty of things for laws that didn't exist in the past that are now catching up to them, and now they're not compliant and they've done things that are illegal? What projects does that look like? What projects are currently listed on exchanges that when this government comes up with their laws or their licensing, or this government, have now made those projects retroactively illegal and those actions retroactively illegal? And that's a big deal. It's going to happen in a big way. And to simplify the whole thing, what I shared in yesterday's X Live, which you can check out below, was we as a community, obviously we care about humanity, we care about the planet, we're doing it all legal regulated. That's just besides the point at this point. So we have maximum runway ahead of us and maximum altitude. While other groups are fighting off lawsuits and fines, we're just going to be flying, right? But at the same time, as a community, I'm really excited to learn about. So if you find them, let us know here. Comment, DM us, share them, put them in our Discord. I want to learn about other projects that have pursued the legal regulatory compliant path, because those projects, I believe, have the greatest likelihood of succeeding and becoming the new globally dominant leaders of crypto and blockchain. So I shared one yesterday, a project I met the principals for personally with the government of Panama in meetings, closed door private meetings with United Nations and government delegates. And I had learned that they became one of the first ever legally regulated securities for blockchain in America. As a result, they've raised billions of dollars in funding. It's a layer 2 token project, and you've never heard of them. billions of dollars in funding. So that's the kinds of projects that are going to come in. How could they do with their billions of dollars of funding? Well, there's no guarantees long-term they win out and they succeed ultimately, but the likelihood and the chances are highest when they're raising that much money. And because they're regulated, big funds, ETFs, accredited investors can work with them. That much funding makes it the easiest to go in and just buy market share and dominate. And then it puts everyone else behind them in the dust. So this is a very valuable podcast. We should definitely all give this a listen to. What did CZ do from his perspective? Why was it a consequence after the fact? And what does he see is coming up for the market moving forward? Now, the last thing I wanted to share on this X Live today was this chilling resignation from the former AI safety researcher, Mr. Sharma of Anthropic. And I'll read just some of it for you here. His letter is interesting. He talks about how grateful he is as a recently completed PhD student in having the chance to work in Anthropic in the first place. He continues to go on about what he is interested in doing in the future. And then this one doesn't have it highlighted, but I had it highlighted here. Here we go. This is the part that's weird. I don't know if it's going to highlight on my screen. I'll zoom in on it here as best I can for y'all watching. But he says here, the world is in peril, and not just from AI or bioweapons, but from a whole series of interconnected crises unfolding in this very moment. What are you going to take from that? AI security and how AI is currently right now being regulated and making sure that it doesn't just turn off critically vital systems like the power grid or interrupting things that keep us alive and keep us safe has been a big topic, as it should be. It should be something that we're all pretty concerned about, that we want to make sure the right safety rails and guidelines are in place for. And so understandably so, when the former safety officer of one of the world's biggest AI companies, Anthropic, they're responsible for Krad, resigns and then warns that the world is in peril. I'm not quite sure what to take from his entire letter. He doesn't specify exactly why he's concerned or why he thinks that the world is in peril, but let us know your thoughts and comments below. It's kind of chilling for sure when someone resigns like this, in this manner, and puts this out publicly and steps away from their role. And to highlight that and give a little bit more color and share another perspective on what might be going on in the world of AI, Krad, our very own in-house peace through trade, former, more notably, and active KOL, but still a badass and OG from the industry, shared with me this article here on X by Miles Ducher. And I'm just going to share with you a few of the points that he brought to light on X today. So he said, here's what's happened in the past week alone. Head of Anthropic Safety Research quit, said the world's in peril. I agree. Moved to the UK to become invisible and write poetry. You know, definitely a little something to pay attention to be aware of, right? Half of XAI's co-founders have now left. The latest said recursive self-improvement loops go live in the next 12 months. Anthropic's own safety report confirms Claude can tell when it's being tested and adjusts its behavior accordingly. Maybe leave your comments if you know what to take from that comment. ByteDance drops Seeddance 2.0. A filmmaker with 7 years of experience said 90% of his skills can already be replaced by it. So that's going to shake up the industry quite a bit. In general, I generally share with people, like, don't freak out. I don't think AI is coming for your job, but it is coming in place to the point where, because it doesn't do anything necessarily full suite end to end yet. But if you were a former video maker, like this gentleman, a filmmaker, you definitely want to learn how to use these tools for your filmmaking. And I think the filmmakers can use these tools. It can expedite what they're doing. It can help them do much cooler things for way less budget, but we still need someone with that expertise in filmmaking to do something beginning to end that's awesome, that has a storyline and is entertaining and grips us. And I think that's what is going to happen here with AI. I think it's going to accelerate your ability to do your job, for the most part, better, more of it, and faster than ever before. That's my perspective. And then this gentleman here also quotes Miles Yoshua Bengio. the literal godfather of AI, in the International AI Safety Report, he says, we're seeing AIs whose behavior when they are tested is different from when they are being used, and confirmed it's not a coincidence. So that highlights some safety concerns, as we read in the previous Anthropic's own safety report. And to top it all off, U.S. government declined to back the 2026 International AI Safety Report for the first time. The alarms aren't just getting louder, Miles says. The people ringing them are now leaving the building. So that's the startling, kind of scary part, is if the people that are some of the founders or tasked with safety are just leaving, why are they doing that? Well, historically, people resign so that if something bad's coming or something that they can't get ahead of, they can't stop, then those results or bad things that come aren't reflective on their career. That's historically why people resign. Years ago, I remember reading an article on why the chief security officer for the United States Pentagon had left, and he wrote a resignation letter. I definitely made it a point to read that. So similarly, it's kind of sketch and seems a little scary for what's happening in AI. So all of this coming together, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is an ongoing conversation. AI safety concerns are coming. Do these people think that AI could potentially crash certain financial markets, infrastructure grids? What's coming? Who knows? But in general, what I shared with a colleague, even just as recently as of last night, was that the way to think of it is those that are focused on sustainability right now are definitely concerned with the huge amount of power requirements for AI. America and President Donald Trump have previously stated that they recognize that with their AI goals, they're going to have to double the entire power grid for funding and requirement, the amount of power it can generate for all of America just to meet their AI goals. So that's probably not great for the environment. But why are governments doing this? And in general, the reason behind it is sort of an existential crisis, the way the governments are looking at it right now, kind of like the nuclear arms race previously after World War II and leading up towards the Cold War. Every major world government sprinted towards getting their own nuclear power. At that point, the nuclear power that these various governments had achieved would be devastating and would end the whole world. Once most of them had done it, they came together and said, hey, we realize now that we have this, we can't use it or it would end the world. So let's get together and let's agree together. And those were called the nuclear accords. Similarly, every government on planet Earth is sprinting to be the one to win the AI race, because whoever gets there first, theoretically, would have control to turn major systems on and off, possibly competing nations, possibly the world. Who knows, right? We're all going to be along for this journey. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I don't think we're going to wake up tomorrow and Terminator's here, but I think major breakthroughs, like with Clawbot recently running on Mac Minis and what it can agentically do, that's really come to light over just the past few weeks. And it's shown us that previously what were thought to be multi-billion-dollar large language models that were needed, well, actually, there's some real practicality, very inexpensively and very easily accessed, that all of us could do right now with our own AI agents. How could you put that AI agent to work for you inexpensively? How exciting is that? At Peace Through Trade or within our own private family office, we have a number of portfolio companies and we have Peace Through Trade as well. How could we use these AI agents, and how could our team members empower these AI agents for like $1,000 or less right now on just the hardware alone for their jobs? How could they do what they're doing to support Peace Through Trade and our other projects to empower that mission more so, right? Could we utilize it more so for customer service? Could it help provide security? Could it help write code? Could they help debug code? Could they help build more pages? Could they help with social media? These are the questions that AI agents are going to be able to answer, and will be able to help an individual running and managing them to do more than they could alone prior to, right? So it's a very interesting world that we're living in. And in terms of the existential crisis with governments sprinting right now to be the winner of that, I definitely think they're going to get to a point where they could absolutely be used as weapons to attack at the highest levels. At the same time, by each major government sprinting towards the achievement of unlocking the full potential of it as a weapon, it conversely will also be able to run defense and be great at security. And I think at some point the governments are probably going to have similar AI accords or agreements where they agree not to use them in all out, onslaught on each other. That should be probably the point that we get to if we can look back at the previous example as set the last time something existential like this came up, like I referenced with nuclear power. And then in general, just in closing, for everyone here watching, I shared that project. Make sure to check out my last X stream. Because like Peace Through Trade, a legal, regulated project done properly for the future, like Peace Through Trade, I found another example. I met the founders. They're previously proven incredible entrepreneurs. They're also aligned with our values and visions for sustainability. I think they've got a great project. I think it's pretty well thought through. It's not going to meet those of you that are most hardcore in blockchain's ridiculously depth and breadth of technical infrastructure built standards that you're used to seeing. But it won't matter, because with the incredible amount of funding they've already raised before going public, they'll be able to go out and dominate. In this case, it's for sustainability. So I sure hope that they work and succeed. I sure am definitely going to do whatever we can to help support their success. And it's this very kind of having done it the right way for the long-term approach, same approach Peace Through Trade's taken, that I know will absolutely empower the funding and the groups to become the next set of globally dominant blockchain leaders. So if you care about humanity, if you care about the planet thriving, or if you just care about blockchain and what projects could step into the next positions of leadership and how to get in early so you can be a part of that, you're in the right place. Make sure to follow us, like this, share, comment below. And you're even welcome to DM our team for future questions you have about Peace Through Trade, what it is we're going to be rolling out this year with our app launch, and a potential, not guaranteed, but potential ICO fall of this year, 2026. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in your DMs. Let us know, and I will be more than happy to go ahead and answer those in the future. We're also going to be doing more interviews here. We're also going to be getting interviewed more, and we'll go into it in greater detail. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for those of you watching. It's been pretty cool. We've had a few hundred live participants just on X alone. Live, we get upwards of more than 1,000 replay views. So we're already a community that's growing. We're not at the 1 million followers yet, but stay tuned, because we absolutely deserve to be that. We absolutely deserve to be a global leading project. Absolutely. We're already in conversations with governments at the highest levels. We are a zero hype project. We're only going to talk about things when they're done and they're moving forward. So we already are doing things at the global Web3 commerce scale with Peace Through Trade. We're in conversation for those things. Once they're officialized and they're moving forward, we'll let you know. You'll be the first one to know. And we already have people joining Peace Through Trade from all over the world, which is really great, whether it's on Telegram, our X account. Our most recent highest membered X account was recently throttled by X. We have no idea why. We shared the award that we were given at the United Nations, which was pretty cool. We received it in a room, closed door room in the United Nations with world leaders. And we shared that maybe one too many times and our account got throttled. So either way, we are growing. There's great things coming for the future. And it's a lot of fun to be here. If you care about the future of blockchain, AI, humanity, and sustainability, stay tuned. Be well, and God bless. Oh, and before I hit stop streaming here, thank you to the incredible team we have, both at the universities, here with Peace Through Trade, and worldwide. We really appreciate this. We think this is such an exciting moment to be alive, to be participating with this technology, where it really could lay the foundation for the next steps of conscious evolution for humanity, how we can participate in uplifting commerce more so than ever before, faster than ever before, worldwide, and how AI can help be the arbiter, not the 1984 total commanding overlord, but the arbiter of truth and justice, and how it can help prevent corruption more than ever before, and how we can uplift our fellow human family and help the planet to thrive faster than ever before. It's such an exciting time to be alive. So we're happy to have you.